The scheduled execution of Robert Roberson, a Texas death row inmate convicted of killing his 2-year-old daughter, has been halted after the Texas Supreme Court issued a partial stay of execution late Thursday. According to court documents, the last-minute delay came just an hour before Roberson's death sentence was set to expire, and followed a remarkable exchange of legal maneuvers between the state and Roberson's lawyers in a fight over his fate. The High Court's decision came after a divided Texas Court of Criminal Appeals overturned a lower court's order to halt his execution in a late-night ruling earlier Thursday. But Roberson's future remains uncertain. Although the court's decision allowed his death sentence to expire at midnight Thursday, the legal battle is ongoing and a new execution date could be set after his potential testimony before lawmakers next week, or sooner if the court orders it. Roberson's execution was delayed Wednesday when a group of lawmakers on the Texas Criminal Law Commission voted to recall Roberson while reviewing the legality of his conviction. The enormous team fighting for Robert Roberson, people across Texas, the country and the world are thrilled tonight that a group of courageous, bipartisan Texas lawmakers have chosen to dig into the facts of Robert's case that no court has ever heard and recognize that his life is worth fighting for, said Roberson's attorney, Gretchen Swain. Roberson's conviction was based on allegations that his daughter, Nikki Curtis, died of shaken baby syndrome, a diagnosis his attorneys say has since been discredited. While his attorneys have long fought against his execution, Roberson's fate was finally reached Thursday in a series of last-ditch attempts. Within days, several state court appeals were dismissed, the Texas Pardons Board denied his clemency request, and the U.S. Supreme Court declined to intervene. The House committee was left with an unusual motion and request for a temporary restraining order, which was granted earlier Thursday, but the state appeals court later sided with the state and invalidated the restraining order Thursday night, with 4 dissenting justices calling the circumstances of the case unprecedented and calling for further consideration of the legal claims at issue following the appeals court's decision. The committee fighting for Roberson asked the Texas Supreme Court to issue an injunction against the Texas Department of Criminal Justice and the Texas Department of Criminal Justice's Division of Corrections. In its decision issued Thursday evening, the Texas Supreme Court issued a temporary injunction halting the execution, but the petition for an injunction remains pending. The Supreme Court said the state cannot prevent Roberson from complying with a subpoena issued by Texas lawmakers on Wednesday, including the execution of Mr. Roberson, until further order of this court. In an opinion concurring with the stay, Texas Supreme Court Justice Evan Young said the district court did not abuse its discretion in granting the restraining order. State lawmakers celebrated the court's decision Thursday. Texas is set to execute Robert Roberson on October 17th after he was convicted of killing his daughter in 2002. Lawyers and a bipartisan group of lawmakers are trying to overturn Roberson's conviction in light of new evidence raising questions about shaken baby syndrome. Texas panel approves recall of death row inmate ahead of execution. Department of Criminal Justice confirmed to CNN that Roberson arrived at the Huntsville unit where he was scheduled to be executed Thursday afternoon. Roberson would have been the first person in the United States to be executed for a conviction that relied on a claim of shaken baby syndrome, a misdiagnosis in Roberson's case, his lawyers say, and which they say has tarnished his reputation, while pediatricians who specialize in child abuse cases have fiercely defended the legitimacy of the diagnosis. Roberson's supporters say the courts have not yet considered sufficient evidence that his daughter died not as a result of murder but as a result of a variety of causes, including illness and medication now seen as inappropriate for such a sick child. Roberson's lawyers said his due process rights were violated when the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals declined to consider additional evidence that the inmate says would support his claim of innocence. Roberson's claim of innocence underscores the inherent dangers of the death penalty, that a potentially innocent person can be executed. At least 200 people, including 18 in Texas, have been exonerated since 1973 after being convicted and sentenced to death, according to the Death Penalty Information Center.